Hello, everyone. We are another nerdy couple, and yeah, that's right. We're back. Hey, it's been a while.
I know you missed us.
We missed you. We really did. All of you. Our friends. Anyway.
All five of you.
Yeah. We are back with, you could already tell by the title, a WandaVision review. Episodes 1 and 2 in this one. And let me tell you, wow, it's a show, isn't it? Huh? I don't know where we're at right now, huh?
It was
weird.
So
It was weird.
odd.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see like what happens and like to see the things like connect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because right now we're just lost.
But why?
But I enjoy the feeling of being lost, but because of how lost we are, like we can't rate it really like fairly right now, just because like it.
Yeah, it's like
it's intangible.
Yeah, you can't rate a pilot. Like you don't know.
Right. It's weird.
Yeah, and like since like the concept is not even like obvious, like
right.
Oh yeah, that was great to set up this whole thing, you know.
The point of these episodes is for us to be confused right now.
Yeah,
and
like
they did it.
Yeah. You're watching and you're like, what?
Yeah.
What?
And
what?
I will say I think it's a little bit brave, maybe. We're 2 episodes in, right? And in both of those episodes, the whole time you're just like, I know that like this is happening, but like where's the real show, you know? Like when's it, you know? So it's like that's 2 episodes of you just, you know, being skeptical about this weird show, and they're just sticking to it. They're like, no, you're not gonna have any idea what we plan on doing until we tell you, you know?
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. But it's weird, Marvel. It's weird.
It's weird.
Don't keep it up.
We'll see what happens. And I mean, like, yeah, it's gonna be weird.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, let's dive into the meat and potatoes of the episodes.
Here are the meat and potatoes. So something you said this, where's the real show?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is so telling to like kind of like what our thoughts are on like what's happening.
Yeah.
So I think Wanda is trapped in a TV show.
Yeah.
Kind of world. Okay, so I don't know how many of you guys watched Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
On
DC,
the CW.
DC style.
But they did something dumb like this too. But like I say dumb because they did it bad.
They did it, yeah.
Where like the characters were like trapped in a network and they were all on different shows, but then they crossed over. It was a whole weird thing. But to say that I think she's trapped in the show, and so like only what we're seeing is what's happening.
Right.
And I think it's just her.
Yeah. Because one of the questions that I have is when does this take place, right? Because if it's the present, Vision is dead. I don't think that they're making this funky, weird show, right? And like going through all these different like eras of TV and having it be in the past. Like that's a lot of layers and that's a lot of like complexity to an already strange show, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
there were talks about this helping with the multiverse theory and getting into like Doctor Strange and stuff. So it's possible that this isn't our Vision.
I guess. But so you said that you think that Wanda is trapped in the show.
Well, episode 1 I thought she was trapped.
So we're on the same page.
At the very end of episode 2.
Yeah.
You hear the radio signal again.
Like, Wanda, we're trying to get you.
It's Wanda, who's doing this to you?
Right.
And I think Wanda's doing it.
I think it's Wanda.
I think this is how she's dealing with the grief of losing Vision.
Right. And that was my preconceived notion going into the show, right? Like I figured that that's what the show was. That's what this world was. But on the first episode, you know, when it zooms out of the TV, like there's somebody there taking notes, right?
Someone took notes.
And that's what had me wondering, like, oh, so she was put in the show, because in the first episode, they don't have any memory. They don't know what the date is. They don't know what it's for. They don't know anything. They don't know why they're there. Oh, something to get back to later. But in the second episode, when the beekeeper shows up.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. This is what really got me to think that she was in control, because they're going through, they hear the noise, they go outside, and the manhole's opening, this beekeeper comes out, and she goes, no. And it just rewinds.
Yeah.
And then it becomes better.
Right.
And you're like, what?
Exactly. So if she didn't place herself there, she definitely has control in the world, or is gaining control, right?
Yes.
And so with the thing that I was saying earlier about them not knowing, right? In the first episode, they have Vision's boss over, and they're having dinner. And the boss keeps asking, like, why are you here? What are you doing? Where did you come from, right? And he's asking all these questions, and then suddenly he starts choking, right? And I think that's because either Wanda doesn't just want to answer these questions for herself, like she doesn't want to face reality, or maybe Vision is real, or somehow, I don't know what, maybe they're both in there. Maybe she did not put herself in there, right? But like this programming is making this happen. And then the person in charge of the show, the person on the outside, was like, make that man stop talking right now, to get them to stop thinking of, like, where did we come from? How did we get here? Like, what day is it?
Yeah.
Type of thing. So it was a little strange to me.
Yeah, I think how she's interacting with the world is also very telling of, like, so, like, either she is gaining control, or, like, she was in control, or, like, maybe she is trapped there. Like, it's very confusing, but Geraldine didn't seem to know her name when Wanda introduced herself. Like, Wanda goes, oh, I'm Wanda. And she was like, oh, wait, you're talking to me? Like, I wasn't expecting this. My name is Geraldine,
Yeah, I did get that vibe, too.
And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah, no, strange, very strange.
Like, that wasn't in the script. That wasn't in what
the show,
the programming was expecting.
Right.
Which was odd.
Yeah. So something that is interesting to me, between the two ads that we saw, like, the two commercials that we saw within WandaVision, is that, one of them was about Stark, toaster oven, and it said, forget the past, it's it's about the future, right? And the next one was a watch that said, like, make your own time.
He'll make time for you.
He'll make time for you. Both of those ads are about time. The first one, the Stark one, really was like, forget the past. So I really think that that's Wanda being like, he's not dead. Didn't happen.
We're
new
future,
building,
and this is it.
Starting here, we're building forward. Anything that happened before doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And then make your own time is she's making her own timeline?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that one, I'm not sure about that.
You good?
Yes. So, with the timeline and the moving through, so something that I think is really cool about how the show seems to be progressing is you start out with this very 50s, like, I Love Lucy kind of black and white show. And then in that second episode, things start popping up in color.
Yes.
And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then there was the helicopter, and then the blood, and then Vision was red when she rewinded.
Yeah.
And that's when everything started coming into color.
Right.
And even before that, another change of era, I guess, would be the fact that she was wearing pants.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I wrote down when that episode started. I was like, she's in pants.
She looks a little too normal.
Yeah, no, but like, just, that's not the 50s.
Right, yeah, I mean, like, too modern.
Modern.
Not normal, but too modern.
I was like, that's not right. And like, one of the other girl, I forget her name, the neighbor, Agnes, thank you. She even pointed it out when she was like, oh, is it what I'm wearing? And she goes, yes, but we can't fix that now, you know? And like, Wanda brings it up. And I was just like, this is them moving forward in time. Like, now we're getting out of this very 50s and moving into like,
I agree. Keep going.
Moving into like 60s or whatever. And like, that also helped when the color came in, that you're moving to the next era of television. And I think even with the intro one, I think this one was more so like the Jetsons.
Right, it was like the Jetsons kind of.
So you're moving forward, like it's the passage of time.
The Jetsons, WandaVision, type of.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that while yes, I agree that of course the show is progressing through time, and through TV eras as well. But I think that what is actually happening within the show, and not just the making of the show by Marvel, is that Wanda, this goes with the theory that she is creating this world, that Wanda is just getting better at recreating what reality looks like, because she has never done this before that we've seen. So she has to start from scratch of how do I make a reality? How do I put in color, right? Yeah. And then she found out somehow with this helicopter, this helicopter had color. And then with the high passion of the person who started to bleed, there was color. So maybe throughout episode 2, she was learning okay, this is what it feels like to put in color. This is how I have to whatever. And then at the end, she was like, I got it. Color everywhere.
I think that it's unconscious. So that's why I think Wanda is trapped, but I think she's trapping herself.
Okay.
I think part of her wants this.
Yeah.
And part of her is fighting it. And that's why there's the question of what's going on, blah blah blah. I think that's part of her calling out what is happening.
Right. Okay.
But on the other side, she made him choke, Yeah. But then that's the other thing when the wife she was just laughing off. She was like, stop it. Stop that.
Right.
Stop. And then she looked at Wanda and was like, stop it. Stop it. And then that's when Wanda told Vision, she was like, stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like,
yeah. But the only thing that's really holding me back from, taking a firm stance of being this is Wanda's doing, is that person taking notes.
Yeah.
Because that's not within her world that she created. That's within our world that we get to see as viewers of the show. That it pulls back, and there's a man in what we assume to be the real world, just with a notepad, watching WandaVision.
Yeah.
So it's what I don't know how to explain that. I don't know who could have done this.
That could be the person calling through the radio.
Right. It could be.
I think that's a possibility in that they're trying to figure out what's going on, and they're like, who's doing this to you? And they're trying to get her out.
So you're saying that person is a benevolent person as opposed to oh yeah, I put you here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're trying to
You think that's
help.
more likely?
Yeah, and they have kind of S.H.I.E.L.D. vibes in the suit and
Yeah.
So it's a possibility.
We're getting all this from the person's right arm, their forearm, but they're definitely wearing a suit.
S.H.I.E.L.D. vibes for sure. But yeah. So let's hop into some little Easter eggs and stuff that we saw, little things that we might want to come back to just to pull up.
The first thing that I saw, in that first episode when they had the calendar, is that it was the 23rd of August, right? Mm-hmm. Currently, I have no idea what that means. 8/23, 23/8, whatever. There's no year. I don't know. Maybe it'll mean something later on, or maybe it was just this is for real diehard people that what.
Yeah, maybe that was the day they started production, or
and the first thing that came to my mind was D23, but 8D, there's not really.
That's not a correlation.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. On the helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
There was, I want to say it was an omega sign with a cross in it. Right. Don't know what that is.
It kind of looked like Star Wars-y to me.
A little bit. Yeah.
Because it was a sword or a lightsaber with a hilt.
Yeah. It could have been like that. And then I want to say the number on it was 57.
I did not see the number.
I wrote 57 down, but that was half a second late, so I don't know. City is Westview.
Westview.
Very generic.
Very vague.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that kind of fits with the whole show, because right now we don't have a lot of information about what even to expect from the next episode. How does this story, is there a story that progresses? There has to be a story, but what?
What is it? Yeah.
Who's the beekeeper?
Right? Who's the beekeeper?
That's my biggest question. That's the question.
Yeah. I think that might be... So, maybe that's the guy, like, breaking in.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it could be.
Like, that's... The man
shield.
in the suit, the guy in the radio, like...
Right. Getting in.
They're
into
getting
the show.
in.
Right.
Maybe.
That could be it.
And that's why she was like, no, like, I don't want to leave.
Right.
Like, this didn't happen.
Yeah. And that's why I think I agree with you that person has good intentions, right?
Yeah.
Because Wanda and Vision did not attack, right? They weren't beating him up for being here. Wanda was just like, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah.
And that was it. You know, avoiding conflict as opposed to, you know, like initiating it.
Yeah.
So.
On the Watch commercial, so obviously from Strucker, that's Hydra.
Okay, yeah.
And I just thought it was interesting, like, the Watch had the Hydra logo.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
It had the Hydra logo. It said Hydra. So you had the Watch Hydra logo, Hydra. Right. And I want to say on this side it said 1100, which I just thought was a weird number.
11 o'clock?
No. Like, it wasn't the time.
Uh-huh.
Like, in writing. Like the wattage or whatever. I don't know
Weird.
how clocks work, watches. But that was one of the things written on it. So it had, like, Hydra on one side, the logo, and then 1100.
Yeah.
Just, like, weird things that I thought, like, huh.
Very weird.
Maybe we'll come back to that. And, yeah. That's all I have
That
for
is
us.
the end of our episode. And like we said, we're not going to give a rating on these because I have no frame of reference. I have no ability to rate this right now, honestly.
This is my rating.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to watch the next episode.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what happens next. That's the rating.
Yeah. Like...
Intrigued.
Intrigued, yeah. Like, I'm definitely interested, and I want to see where this goes and, like, see if our theories are right and...
Right.
Just kind of connect all those dots.
All right. Well...
All right. It's been a
while. She forgot that she does the outro. It's all right. I looked at her. I tried to give her a subtle cue. But...
It's been a minute. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, go ahead and click that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next WandaVision review. See you in the next one. Bye.